I am not here in this episode here to screw things up, but to make things better for you, my audience. Welcome back. In today's video edition here, I'm going to be treating the topic why your compressor die. And after this, I'm going to be treating the topic why your car AC cools, but it's not cooling strong or blowing strong enough. Now, there are a lot of things that can actually make you screw your AC system off, and as soon as you screw it, then everything is done. Now here, a lot of you guys who fills your car AC system from this very cans here, most of them comes as 300 grams, some 400 grams, depends on the car or the manufacturer's specs or make. However, it is imperative to understand the use of this very refrigerant. You can mess the system up using this one or using this other big brother. And I'm going to be showing you most of the mistakes which you guys actually do in trying to fix up your car AC system while topping off the refrigerant, and next, boom, the system is no more blowing cold. Now, when you're using this one here and you don't understand the right quantity of the refrigerant which the manufacturer actually required for your car, if you get off the first can, before getting the first can inside it, do not flip it like this. All right? This is one of the worst mistakes a lot of people have been doing. When you flip it up into this very mode here, it can quickly flood the system if suppose you don't know the right quantity. Even though if you know the right quantity, I'm going to discuss that very, very well for you to understand. If you don't know the right quantity, or even if you know the right quantity, but you don't have a weighing scale to be able to measure the amount of refrigerant that goes inside your car AC system, well, this video is actually going to help you to do that, because if you don't have the weighing scale, first of all, get the first can into it and use your left finger to hold the suction line. When you hold the suction line while using this to recharge it, simply keep it up like this and wiggle it a little bit. Wiggle it while it gently from here flows from here through your can tap, then into the system. However, after the first can, you need to allow the car to work for a while, then go ahead and take a hand feel at each of the vents of the AC system of your car. When you take a hand feel at each of the vents, you need to know if the cooling, if the cold effect which you're getting from the passenger side of the vent is becoming equal to the one on the driver's side. If it is becoming, if you're getting almost the same thing there, then do not add much again. You still need to allow it to work like, just allow it to work like a minute or 30 seconds, all right? Within this 1 minute or 30 seconds, best practice is actually within 2 minutes. Within 2 minutes, when you allow the system to work, then you are giving the system a chance to recirculate the refrigerant inside every circuit. Now, when that is done, what's actually going to happen right there is you want to take the same measure again, use your hand feel to check between the passenger side to the driver side. If it is not equal, and if it is blowing just a little bit slight difference, then you know that you just need to top off a little bit. And if you want to top off a little bit with this same can you're using, then do not flip it. Still keep it up like this while wiggling it. All right? Now, while doing that, when you add some, quickly close this up, then take a hand feel inside the driver's side. Although some different car manufacturers has a different way of charging off their systems. So some can actually be starting from the left side to the right side, while some will be starting from the right side to the left side. So you need to know your own polarity, where it starts from, start getting cold from either from the left to the right or from the right to the left. And when you notice that, by first adding half of this into the car, then you have gotten the right idea to get your car AC working fine as it's supposed to, without overcharging the system that is going to actually push the compressor to resting in peace. Now we proceed over to the other guy. Now this one here, a lot of customers often prefer that you charge from this one here. Or when you are actually charging from this very guy here, this is more responsible for killing most compressors. Why? Because the amount of refrigerant inside this very can is extremely much and can blow things out of proportion just in a matter of seconds. So that is why if you are charging from this very one here, I don't recommend you to charge from this big can here, because charging from this very big can here will quickly flood up the system and the compressor will be choking up and dying. So except if you are a trained HVAC system of car, then you want to use this one. Because what I mean by if you're a trained HVAC system of a car, it means you have every prerequisite knowledge that is required of you to actually measure this one correctly into the car and have the right premier range of the refrigerant quantity which is recommended by your manufacturer into the car system. Because overcharge is not acceptable, it's very detrimental to the well-being of your AC system. And undercharge is also detrimental because it's going to make your compressor to overheat. So the system is not designed to pump liquid refrigerant but vapor, and so excess of it will actually flood up the range, the portion which is supposed to be left. When you take a look at your condenser, right? Your condenser has a 3 division, but it's not visible. It's something that which, as a service technician, is something that you need to have it equipped in your mind, that your condenser has a 3 stage. As soon as the compressor discharges the refrigerant into the condenser, the first stage of it is pre-saturation. The pre-saturation there is where you have both a liquid refrigerant coming inside and vapor. Why the third phase? That's why it's a pre-saturation. So the first one have a lot of liquid, and the second stage have a mixture of air due to condensation and liquid. That is the saturation. Why the third phase is completely, in other words, I think I messed up a little bit here. When the compressor pumps the refrigerant into the evaporator, there is a first stage. The first stage is there is a very hot refrigerant that flows into the system, right? Then after that very stage here, there is a pre-saturation, which is just within the middle of the condenser. Within this stage, that is where the hot liquid gaseous refrigerant is turning into liquid, but it's just within the fraction of it. Why the bottom part of it, where it's connected to the liquid line that flows into your expansion valve, is where the real condensation has occurred that cool down the hot molecules of liquid gaseous refrigerant into liquid refrigerant. Now, I want you to picture this. When you add excess to it, the first saturation, the first pre-saturation point, which is a hot gaseous refrigerant, will be saturated with liquid. And in so doing, the condenser will not have the space which is supposed to have. They're supposed to have some certain space within the condenser, which is supposed to use to condense the hot refrigerant back into liquid. So when the liquid flood it, it's not pretty much not going to do anything no matter what you do. And that is why no matter how your car AC system works, sometimes you can only go get some cold sometimes, and warm sometimes when you're on a high RPMs, when you overcharge your car AC system with refrigerant. So my recommendation is, this is a deal breaker. This is a compressor killer for you DIYs who don't have the right equipment. So I would recommend you using this very one here instead of this one, because this one is gonna be very much easier to control when you're trying to charge up your refrigerant. But this one, just to pop this very cover open, even while it's standing like this, is enough to start flooding up the system quickly. All right? Not only that, it can also damage the valve inside the AC compressor. And the valve is actually the main thing that helps the compressor to compress the refrigerant, opens and closes. Now, on this side here, there are some cars that have on their stickers about 500 grams, some 600 grams. Now, if this comes about 300 grams, technically speaking, even without using a weighing scale, you can just put 2 of these cans right inside the system and everything comes back working very fine as it's supposed to. But however, if your car is having, let's say, 400 grams and you use this, you are likely going to pop about 1,000 grams just about 1 minute into the system without knowing, just by opening it even while it's standing up like this. So long as you have a very healthy compressor, or a brand new compressor that has a very high suction capability or capacity, it can actually take more than 1,000 grams into that system that is actually designed to contain only 400 grams. And that is a problem that's actually going to push your compressor into resting in peace. So guys, now, one other thing which you need to know how to do, to keep your compressor alive, is how cold is the suction line of your car AC system. If the more cold you get on the suction line, which you don't even need any sophisticated tools to actually do that, is to use a hand feel to take a feel at it. If it is very cold, then you know the compressor is going to be very happy. But if it is warm, but meanwhile you need to plug your manifold gauge set to see the readings you're getting on the high side as much as the low side. And if it is extremely much on the high side and extremely much more higher on the lower side, then you know you have overcharged system, which you need to quickly resolve immediately, or you're going to be killing the compressor. Now that you know how to be able to save yourself from making mistake using this to gas your car AC system, now I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.